All right, we are going to go over editing the greatest financial ministry website out there today, and that is the new Mission Investment Fund website, MIF. And so for starters, to log in and edit, what you're going to do is go to the site. You're going to type in after the URL there, you're going to type in config. And when you do that, you're going to come to a username and password for when you were invited to edit. Now, I'm going to hit the back button here. I'm in Chrome here. What I usually do is I log in with Safari, so I have two different browsers, so I can look in non-admin mode and look in admin mode. And so this is what happens when you log in, is you'll come across to this page. And then the first thing you're going to see on the left side here is different options here. And I want to talk to you first about just editing this alert banner, because that's something you're going to change on a regular basis. And we're going to start by going over to marketing. And then we've got these two engagement options here, and the announcement bar, which is this, a promotional pop-up, which is pretty cool. But today we're going to talk about the announcement bar. And when I click on that, we can turn off the bar like that, hit save, and now the bar's not on. We're going to turn it on. And then in the box here, that's where we can put any copy there. And in this case, we've got, this is set up as a link. And the way you put up a link is you highlight some text, you hit that link, and then you can pop in, what page you want to go to. You can also find that page by going to page. Let's just say I take that out there and I can search. And then if I start to search, I can find all the pages in the website. And then I can, let's say I want to go there. If I want to open a new window, I can turn that on. If I want to go to an external website, just go to web address, type that in. Again, this button here says open an external window, so that'll leave the website up and then open another one, and you can do a phone. But for the most part, it's typically going to be a page within the site, and that's how you assign it. I'm going to cancel this here. And then you have this other option here, which is a click-through URL, which means the whole banner can click through somewhere. Whereas in this case, just there are links within the messaging that is linking independently. But if you wanted the whole bar to click, you would just click this, and that's how we do that. And that's the announcement bar. It's pretty easy. That's how we do that. And if you have Squarespace Mobile installed, you can just load it up right there. And by default, it's going to open up with your home page, and then you can go down through here and you can do different edits. And then down here, you can actually edit the pages. But then in the settings here, you have the announcement bar here, where you can click on that and make your edits there or disable it, which is a nice feature. You don't have to be anywhere. You can just use your phone to turn that on and off. And that's another nice feature of the mobile app. So now we're going to look at some general edits. When you're logged in and you're on a page here, you can navigate around and click through and go to different places. But the other way that you can navigate is if you go to pages and then the home page. We're going to click over here. What you're going to see in the navigation is that you're going to see some folders, which is the drop down. That's what a folder is. And then within those, they're just links to pages. So you're not going to really do any editing here. But then you've got what's called an index page, and that's by those little double bars there. And let's look at the home page, because the home page is the most common index page. And when you drop that down, you've got these pages within a page. And when you're on the home page, you can see that if I'm over this, you can see that it shows Home Hero, and I can click Edit. And then here is the home intro and edit again. And this banner, what this does is that if I click on that, that's where I can, swap out the video that's running, and that's what's there. And then other different things that are a little bit more complex for this tutorial. The most important thing is really this edit here, and you'll see that in every section. So if I edit this like that, what I can do is I can just go and then click, and I can click and edit this content here and hit save. If I wanted to hit this button, you just click that, and that one's going somewhere, and change the size. You don't really want to do any of that. Mostly content edits are straightforward and simple. Same down here. If I want to go here and I want to edit that content, I just do that and hit save. And now down here, we can see that we've got some different colors that in admin mode are not the same as in regular non-admin mode. And so you just want to make sure when you're looking at that, if you see something that's a little strange, check in the non-admin mode, because we do some little customizations that'll affect that. And in this case, if I'm going to edit this image, for instance, or edit the copy, I can start typing and change the copy that's on there. Now these images with the copy over, you don't want to change it so that there's too much too much content because it'll spill out over the edges of the image when you change in mobile and different sizes and that. So you want to keep that small, but you've got this little headline and sub that you can edit. This little diamond at the end is what's creating some special design options. So that's what's in there. And that's why that looks a different color when you're first editing. But so if you see something like that or a special character in there, you want to leave that in. But that's editing an image or what's called a poster image with content over it. Over here, and these stories, these are a little bit different. You may run into these from time to time. And when you edit that, what you're going to see is it's going to show that it's a summary block. And what that means is it's pulling content from somewhere. So when I edit this, it's going to say, oh, that's coming from stories. That's the content. Layout and display, you don't really need to worry about that. But if you wanted to change a headline in one of these, you're going to first find out where the content is. And if I hit cancel here and then cancel here, and then I'm going to look for the stories blog. So a blog, these are pages. These are index pages with pages within it. And that's what pages within there. And if you see something that's grayed out like that, what that is there is because we wanted to make a change. And so we duplicated it, and then we made some changes, and then we kept the old version there. So sometimes you'll see some of that within there, some disabled pages, kind of as backup. We can delete those over time. But there's the stories, and you can see it's a blog, and this is a little bit different. When I click on that, then I'm going to see all these different stories. And if we wanted to edit an MIF loan, if we want to find that, we can do a little search. There we go. So it's right there. And then so that headline is actually edited there. So when you're in a blog, you're going to get this post edit. And then if you want to change that headline, you're just going to type that headline. That will change it so it shows up here. And then if I click on there and go to this story, that's where I'm at here. And it's the same thing. You just go in and type whatever changes. Images are a little bit different in that you can edit it there, and this is where you change images, but you won't be doing too much of that. But for the most part, you're just going to be clicking, making your edits, and then saving. And that's it. Let's go over to, say, the investments. If I click over there, go down to turn investments. So this is a little bit different in the sense that when I go into edit mode, what happens is we see a bunch of content after this more. So this is a little bit of a Squarespace hack that we wrote, and the way that this works. And you're going to see this from time to time, these little spacers. And these little spacers are done to help kind of keep the layout in a certain way. So you don't want to change those spacers or move them. You want to stay, within the editing mode. But when you see that little more sign, the way that works is that if I look at that link, I can see it's called an expand link. And what that means is that if you put that in as a URL for a particular link, it's going to look for the content after that and then hide it. And so that you can just click it and expand it out like that. So that's how that works. And you'll see some things like that. If you want to edit that, you just go in there and you can make that change. I'm going to cancel out of there now. And you'll see, a lot of these have that, and that's for the ability to kind of layer in and not display it until somebody's ready. But from an editing standpoint, if you're looking to edit it and not seeing it right away, that's all you got to do is go into edit mode, and then you can make your edits there. Hit save, and you're good to go. And pretty much that's it. There's not much to it. It's really simple. If you're seeing something that's kind of strange, you probably want to ask us about it because, I'd say probably 80% of the site is just this point and click on the different content, but there are some little tricks so that we can get it to work a certain way that we've kind of tweaked. And if you run into those, we can make another tutorial specific around those, and so that we can kind of keep the format and the display working as we want.